If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement and male advantage ebook, all links are in the bio. Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, a little bit strange because many of you probably might not know who this guy is. But it's another male advantage journey that we're going on here with a guy called Corry. Okay? Now, the reason I wanted to make this one and not do one on Drake or whatever, someone else with a big name, which, you know, I probably will eventually because Drake's story is pretty cool too. I wanted somebody, you know, I'm trying to mix it up with these male advantage journeys and do something different every single time. Well, the thing about Joel is I believe his journey is very achievable. It's relatable, and I just think a lot of people will look at it as a reachable goal that they can do themselves. Like, this is no disrespect to Joel. He doesn't have like any outstanding talent as such. Like, you wouldn't just say, oh, but he was given this God-given talent. There's no way I could achieve that, you know. And the way that he's done everything he's done, the average guy on the street could pretty much follow in his footsteps and emulate very closely many parts of what he's done in his life. And that's why I wanted to make this video. Now, the second reason I wanted to make this video is because, honestly, I remember this guy from when he was on Geordie Shore, when he was 21 years old, okay? This guy was mocked by everyone. He was given so much shit. He was kind of like this little boyish lad going around getting drunk, trying to cheat on his missus, and everybody just thought he was a dickhead, okay? Now, imagine my shock when everybody's saying his name in relation to massive songs, okay? I was like, that can't be the same guy. And I go back and take a look, and I'm like, my word, that's the same guy that was on Geordie Shore at 21, making a bit of a dick of himself. And I'll bring some pictures up now on screen. And as you can see, like, you know, there's nothing wrong with this guy, but he was always rolling around with fake tan, the pearliest white teeth, you know, the hair straightened, and tank tops, etc. He's doing like corny dance moves and shit like that. Always talking about shagging birds, you know, and stuff like that on Geordie Shore, which, you know, so many young lads did. But if we look at this picture here, look on the right, he just looks like a child. Okay, this is him at 21. Now, imagine a woman at 21. Most women at 21 are absolutely stunning. You know, every single aspect of them is exactly how a man would want it to be. You know, body, face, etc. But we just look at Joel on the right-hand side, and the only thing that comes to my mind is child. Okay, and it's got nothing to do with height or anything like that. Okay, I don't even know how tall the guy is. I'm just looking at the clothes he's wearing. You know, the way, you know, that photo when people are pointing at each other, the hair, just everything's over exaggerated. You know what I mean? It's a little bit flamboyant, still trying to figure yourself out. It just gives off teenager vibes. And that's one thing that he was known for on the show. It's just drama and immaturity. It was kind of good for him, as we'll go on to now, but it was also bad in a way because just everything that he did was just cringy. But the benefits and how it leads to a better life, and this is all part of the male advantage as you learn along the way, is that he worked as a runner for MTV, where he used to get like celebrities into the club as well on the guest list. And that's where he met his girlfriend, Sophie, I think, from Geordie Shore, okay? And in the meantime, he was DJing on weekends in Mayfair to pay the bills. So nothing extravagant. Yeah, he's managed to date a decent girl because this guy is in unbelievable shape. Okay, when he was on the show, I'll bring a picture up now, this guy was shredded. Like, that's one thing he did really well, is he just focused on his body when he was really young, which is something I encourage you guys to do. Like, especially when you're young, just get that work in the gym, just put it in place. You know, you might not be in a position to get success yet, but body, there's not really a limit once you get past kind of 18 years old. You might as well be in that gym really hustling. Now, one thing that he said is that when he was on Geordie Shore, it really raised his profile in Europe and the UK, and he was able to start DJing all around the UK, and he was DJing in kind of holiday resorts that we have in the UK, not have in the UK, but UK people go to, like Malia, Zante, Ayia Napa, places like that. And he said, it's a really interesting quote actually. He said, maybe they weren't the most credible gigs. I was playing a lot of crap venues. I've played in every town in the UK, and I played to so many empty clubs. But my name was still on the flyer, you know? I just felt like whatever I do, get my name out there. The TV thing was another platform for me to push myself. Now that's such a positive way to look at things, and you'll come to understand this guy, although he's a very nice guy, he's not exactly the most intelligent, okay? And that isn't a knock on him. That's just I'm just saying, like, anybody can achieve the journey that he's done. He's not like some super genius, but he had the foresight and the work ethic to say, as long as I'm getting my name out there, I'm kind of getting these lost leaders where it's not really benefiting me too much. The clubs are kind of empty, but my name's on the flyer. My face is on the flyer. Like, it's all marketing that's working towards something bigger and better. He understood the male advantage and moving forward what it was going to bring. So now we move on to the next notable moment, which is 23 years old. Now, I watched a video of him before doing this. I'll bring it up now. I can't imagine I'm going to get copyright struck for this kind of video. It's promotion of Joel.
Right, get that heated up. I use the 2 chicks egg whites. These are really cool because obviously breaking eggs and getting egg whites that way is a bit messy. Number 5 done. I'm now ready for work, so I'm going to hit the club and DJ and do my thing.
But it's a video where it's just documenting 24 hours in his life and kind of his diet, going to the gym, DJing, getting back late. And that's, you know, you guys can watch some snippets of it here, but that's all he was doing. He was going to the gym, he was eating a clean diet, and he was DJing, which, when you break it down in its simplistic form, guys, is success and gym. How many times have I said to you lot, when you're young, that's the only 2 things you need to focus on. Forget everything else, just success and gym. Success, gym. Just get in shape, put the work in. Get in shape, put the work in. Like, it's very easy, and these were his hustle years. This is when he really grinded and put in that foundation so that he could build something great off the back of it. Now, in a 4-year period, so this was a hustle of 4 years, we get to 27. Okay, and I've told you guys multiple times before that 27 is the most dangerous age for men, especially if you've got women who are the same age as you, okay? It's the first year where you really start looking the part, you know, 27, 28, the tables slightly start to turn. You can see that men are starting to get the upper hand, and that kind of 16 to 26 age period for women where they're at their most beautiful and sexually have the highest value, that starts to decline, okay? And men start to take over very, very slowly. And at 27, he had a decision, and this was documented in another video, which was gym or girlfriend, because what he was doing was going for the bodybuilding competitions. And for me, this is his stick or twist moment. So he wanted to follow his passion, as we can see in the video. His girlfriend just, for some reason, she's being absolutely absurd. She didn't want him to follow his dreams. And this is what a lot of women will do, okay? They won't realize they're doing it because she's had her good years. She used her youth. She was on the Geordie Shore show at like 21, 22. She cashed in, made loads of money, capitalized on, you know, the youth and the looks that she did have when she was younger. And now she's ready to settle down. And because he's in his building years, because he's a man, we age later than women, and he's ready to, you know, build something great and just get his journey started. She's like, why aren't you on the same timeline as me? I need you around all the time. And this is what happens. When you're with women the same age, they derail your life. They derail your journey. They don't do it on purpose. Of course they don't. They want you to be successful. But they want your timeline to match theirs. And if you're trying to be really successful and move forward in life, and they know they've already hit their peak and they're on the decline, you know, all the signs are pointing towards you leaving. So it's very scary for a lot of women at that moment. And that is why 27 is the most dangerous age, because next comes marriage, kids, mortgage, etc. And before you know where you are, all your spare time and income is gone. And the best years of your life as a man, I mean, you're spent caring for other people, you know, and you've not put that work in to reach the male advantage time where you're going to capitalize on your best years. And just before this, in 2015, so around about a year and a half, year before, he released 12 singles in a row, okay? So he really grinded, put that work in. I know, like, 12 singles doesn't sound like a lot, but in the music industry, coming up with 12 finalized songs can take a long time, okay? It's like an album. That could be like a year, 2 years of work, and he's released it, and none of them even made it into the top 100. So you can see why he went into bodybuilding, because I think that was kind of the make or break moment where it was like, I'm going to give up if this doesn't work. And then he goes to go into bodybuilding, gets rid of the girlfriend, and this kind of signifies to me that he started taking things seriously. I know he's kind of backed away from music, but he really went for it with the 12 songs. He failed. He then decided, okay, I need a change of heart. He's gone down the fitness route, the bodybuilding route. He's got rid of his girlfriend. He's building up his YouTube following at the time. I imagine it was like 30, 40,000. And he's really pushing. Like, he's really pushing for success. And yeah, none of it really figured out, because in 2018, he went full-time on music again. So the bodybuilding didn't really work. The early stages of music didn't really work. But like I say to you guys all the time, don't just start a business for the sake of it. Like, he got into DJing because he loved it. That's his passion. And even though he had this massive failure of 12 songs not even making it into the top 100, he came back to it. He came back to it for the love of the game and not the money. And ultimately, this is why he ended up succeeding. So now in 2018, like I said, he's full-time on music, and within 2 years, guys, he gets a UK #1 hit and multiple songs in the top 10, okay, which isn't easy to do. Now, the #1 hit, obviously, that's a game changer for him. That's just changed his life. And that #1 hit has 187 million views right now. 187 million views, guys. I'll play it now. So he also has 60 million views for a song with Ray and David Guetta, 24 million views for a song called Lonely, and now he's approaching 300,000 YouTube subscribers. So he's got the audience, he's got the success, he's got the body because he's clearly in shape. The guy's still single, okay? And now, as we can see on screen, he's got clearly a more masculine appearance. Like, he looks more like a man. Let's compare this with the little boy that we saw at 21. Worldly different. Worldly different. Looks more professional, more defined, more masculine. Just in terms of people taking him more seriously, men respecting him, women wanting to be with him. There's no contest, guys. Look, like, yeah, he's a pretty boy on the left, but on the right-hand side, he's just more defined. Like, that is a man compared to a boy. And this is something that women have the opposite of. When they're 21 and they're out partying, they look stunning. 31, they're not going to look as great as they did. Whereas as a man, it's in reverse. 21, you look childish. 31, you look masculine. And femininity peaks young. Masculinity peaks a little bit later. 10, 15, 20 years later than women's does. Having assets, money, a bigger frame. All these things are masculine. Being a provider. You can't do a lot of these things at 21. And you can see in the picture, like, how much better this guy now looks, okay? Now, interestingly, in 2019, it was reported that he made 15,000 per year income. Now, I don't know how true that is. I know there's not a lot of money in the bodybuilding industry. He probably had money saved up, and he was focused on music and putting all his money into the music. As we know, he went full-time in 2018 and obviously released these songs in 2019, 2020, obviously having the #1 hit in 2020. And you've got to think, yeah, perhaps he wasn't making any money during this time period. So he reinvested heavily, and it really paid off, because 2 years later in 2021, it was reported that his income for the year was 1.5 million to 5.5 million. So he's gone from 15,000 in a year to, let's say highest possible end, 5.5 million. I imagine if he's got 187 million views on one video, and that's a #1 hit, with the club features and whatever and everything else that's going on, and royalties and YouTube ad revenue, like, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if he had 5.5 million in that year. So 15,000, 2 years later, 5.5 million. Guys, that is ridiculous. But it looks like it happens overnight. It didn't happen overnight. This guy's probably been in the gym since he was 16, 18, whatever. Like, the first time I saw this guy was at 21. and he was in ridiculous shape then. So I imagine he probably did start in the gym at like 17, 18. You know, this, and he was DJing back then as well. So that's what I'm saying. Fitness and success is a foundation, and it's not until he's 30, 31 years old that he kind of brings it all together and has the full package. So he's in shape. He looks more masculine. He's got the money. You know, everything just came together for him. Now, I'll tell you what's really interesting is this quote that he said here. He said, when he was referring to the sacrifices he made to get the #1 hit, he said, "I'm isolated. I have one friend, my mum, my brother, and my sister." He then went on to say, "I had to be on my own. And I still feel like that now. It's almost selfish, but I can't have any distractions, man." Joel Corry. Okay, how crazy is that, guys? That's the one thing that I'm telling you guys all the time, is you've got to be selfish as a man. You've got to sacrifice maybe like 5 years, and that's kind of what he's done. You know, he's on his, from 28 when he really got serious, or 27 when he gave up his girlfriend, that's like 4 years. Okay, so he just went completely solo for 4 years, really put the work in, got serious, and now he's a multi-millionaire with a #1 hit. That's the difference it can make, guys. And I don't shit on women on purpose. I don't say, oh, women are bad, because they're not. You know, they can add a lot to your life at the right time. But many women are, and I've said this millions of times before, they're accidental leeches. They will take everything from you without knowing that they're doing that, because they have life goals, and women are like relentless fucking Genghis Khan hordes when they need something in life, when they need to achieve their life goals. They will just plow forward and just drag you with them down the marriage, kids, mortgage route. Even if that's not what you want to do and you've got your own goals, many men will give them up and sacrifice everything to make sure that woman is happy. She won't know she's doing it, but she's just leached everything from that man. Time, money, ambition, whatever. And that's why so many guys are unhappy. If you've got the hottest girl in the world and you're suffering at 27, like around this age, or even younger guys, you might want to get rid of her. You might want to get rid of her and focus on yourself, because it's just never worth it, guys. You don't want to be sat there at 38 years old, she's left you, gone off with a rich guy, and you're broke with no one and you look like shit. You know, always take care of yourself. Always take care of yourself first. It matters so much more, and that's what Joel did. He dedicated like 4 years to this. He took his fucking income from 15,000 to 5.5 million. You know, some of these are reported, but I can't imagine it's going to be too far at the mark with obviously the life that he was living. And as I said earlier, he isolated himself. He only had 4 people in his life. Like he's saying, I had to be selfish. I had to be on my own. I couldn't have any distractions. It's just so interesting. And then you see the work ethic of the man as well. Like he said here, there were no darker nights than the ones when I was in bed starving, wanting to have food, but I didn't because I was on the diet plan. Okay, and we see the shape that the guy's in here, okay, on screen. The guy is absolutely shredded. You know, he's not the biggest in the world, but he's shredded and he looks fantastic. And he looks better here than he did on the Geordie Shore days a few years back in his life. So he's actually improved and got in even better shape. But, you know, he really did work on the fitness first, then the success, and now he's brought it all together, and he's only 31. He's 32 in a couple of days, it seems. I think his birthday was June. I took a look. And, you know, you just think what great position to be in at 32. He's not even at his male peak yet. That's like 35 to 38, 39-ish. But you just think to yourself, he's just entered the male advantage. He's just put everything together. Now, people might say, oh, he's had a #1 hit, that's it now. But no, as a man who's just achieved all that and put the groundwork in, I would not be shocked if he ended up having like another 5 or 6 #1 hits off the back of this. You know, just got bigger and bigger. Just kind of did the Calvin Harris thing and just took it to... It depends on his ambition, but I imagine he's just going to kick this forward now and do the Calvin Harris thing, which would be fantastic. And that's the thing as a man. Now he's living his peak years and it's just getting better and better. As for most women, you know, they're valued very much on their sex appeal and their beauty. You can't really move into your 30s and then say, these are going to be my best years. That's why most women are settled down doing the family thing, because they know they don't have that same level of power as they did in their teens and 20s, okay? As a man, it's different. That's why I'm constantly promoting these male advantage journeys to you. Now, one thing he did say is that he was shocked at the female attention since getting the #1 hit. Really? Shocked at the female attention. Like, this is what I'm saying to you guys. Like, his first girlfriend, as we can see on the show, well, I don't know if it's his first girlfriend, but the first one we're going to look at, his ex here, this Sophie girl, she's now 31 years old, same age as him, okay? They obviously met at the same age. It felt, great. She was on a reality TV show. I never, thought she was attractive, but I guess she was at her peak there, and she was able to get on the show and just kind of, make the most of her youth and her beauty, if you would, and her prime years. And you look at the picture of those two together, like, she looks better now. I think she's gone on a massive fitness thing and massive surgery, I feel like when men want to improve, they get in the gym. When women want to improve, they just go and get treatments and surgeries. It's not all, but it just seems like such a fucking cheat code. It's annoying in a sense. It's like, I'm going to join OnlyFans, get my boobs done, get arse shots, and get my lips done. Now I'm earning $100,000 a month. It's almost like the journey to the top is completely different. But this was them when they kind of broke up, and you can see when they got together, obviously, it was probably like a fair trade. He's not doing that well in life. She's on a reality TV show. It's a good trade-off for him. But as they move through life, he's just outranking her. He's just so much better than her, and the gap's getting wider and wider and wider. So he moves away from that, goes and starts his own life, cracks on, pushes forward, made that stick or twist decision, and obviously it really paid off. He could have stuck with what he had, it was pretty good, but he chose to twist, sacrificed everything for a lot more, and everything that he got further down the line was better. And that's a real tough decision for men, to sacrifice what they have, the comfort zone that they're currently in, for something better down the line. And I know they're not dating, they were just working together on this song, but this girl, Ray, who is obviously a really attractive woman, I'd say probably like 10 times more attractive than his ex. Yeah, they're not fucking, whatever, they're probably not together, they're just working in professional capacity, but, that's obviously, I'm assuming there, they could be, but he's working with women like this now. And that's what I mean by life setup. He's around these types of women on a daily basis. He has access to these types of women. And even though he's 31, this girl that he's working with is 23. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility to believe that, those two could have plausibly dated. Like, those two could plausibly be together now if things just went really well in the studio. Because that's all it takes. It's just life setup where both of you have access to one another. You spend a decent amount of time together in a professional capacity, or just something aligns you two. You get on really well. Next thing you know, you're dating. Now he's dating a 23-year-old superstar who is 10 times better than his ex, because he's put the work in, got to a position with the male advantage where she sees him as a great catch. And that's why I wanted to make this male advantage journey on Joel Corry, guys, because you might not have known who he was. But like I said, he's never come across as the most intelligent guy. Everything that he's done, just getting in the gym, DJing, working in Mayfair and clubs, like, it's not beyond the realms of possibility for the average guy on the street to emulate what he's done. Like, it's very achievable, it's relatable, and it's reachable. Like, that's what I said at the start. And that's why I wanted to make this one. And you can see, like, the difference in his life from when he was 21, and his life was just full of drama. He was immature, he looked like a child on Geordie Shore. And his missus had more value than him because she was famous. Fast forward to 31, about to turn 32 years old, he's got a #1 hit, millions in the bank. The public perception of him now is way stronger. Everyone thinks he's a decent bloke now. Everybody's dancing to his songs, thinking they're fantastic. He's getting a ton of female attention, as he self-proclaimed. And he's working with, superstars like Ray and David Guetta on a daily basis. Like, the difference in his life is enormous. And this is what happens when you take advantage of the male advantage. You put that work in young, you stay patient, and you wait for things to come together, okay? And like I said many, many times before, success in gym, success in gym, success in gym, plus patience, be selfish and make sacrifices. Invest your money, of course, stuff like that. Reinvest in what you're doing, believe in what you're doing, find your passion, stick to it, sacrifice 3 to 5 years without women completely, go solo, and you watch the results completely come together, guys. It doesn't take a lot, okay? It's just those components that I mentioned. And Dan Bilzerian always says at some point you're going to have to put the work in, some point you're going to have to make the sacrifices. And, I'm not saying he's the best person for that, but, he did he did strategize quite well with his life. But something he always says is, if you're going to have to do it at some point in your life, I'd rather front load that shit. And he's completely right. Like, why do that at 40 years old? Why do that at 60 years old? Like, surely it makes sense to, when you've got your lowest possible value as a man at like 16, 18, to just go gym, success, sacrifice. Selfish, spend time on your own, go without women for a long, extended period of time, reinvest all your money in yourself, you know, give it everything you've got, so that when you do reach your 30s, male advantage periods, from like 30 to 60, when men take over, you can really enjoy it. You can be on top, and you're not playing catch up and wasting those best years. And Joel's a perfect example of that. But I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you all soon. If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement and male advantage ebook, all links are in the bio.